Welcome back. We are Buckingham Business Review, a video magazine that deals with the intersection of people, tactics, and strategy. This is the second segment with Mr. Kevin Skedsvold of the law firm of Skedsvold and White. If you missed the first segment, I strongly encourage you to go back and learn more about Kevin and his firm. Kevin, in this segment, one thing that's always been helpful to me, and I think many of our viewers would echo the sentiment that particularly a service as opposed to a tangible product, what brings the service to life sometimes are some examples, some case studies. And with or without identifying the names of clients and so forth, I was thinking perhaps you could bring some of your services to life by giving us some example case studies, one or two, that might typify and help me understand, help our viewers understand exactly how you are engaged and provide high value to your clients.
Sure. Well, one recent example, we have a nursing home company. They have an employee that is working with them, has had a legitimate on-the-job injury. And very often that's the case when a matter is referred to me. There's a legitimate injury,
sure,
but something happens in the meantime where circumstances change and litigation ensues. The example that I'm thinking of, the young woman is a very bright and intelligent person. She had a competing business with the company, and the competing business was definitely in violation of the non-compete clause that she had in her contract. The problem that presented for us is that once we terminated her, she then asked for income benefits to be paid on the workers' compensation claim. We had to get involved very quickly, and we're involved in conference calls with the client before anybody had filed suit, before a hearing was requested or scheduled, and we were able to strategize with the human resources, with the disability med management people, with the insurance adjusters, and actually with corporate counsel involved in the labor matter that was the primary driver of the litigation. So by being able to get involved before anything was happening, there were no deadlines at that point, we knew exactly what we had to do. And so we developed a plan. When the hearing request came, we knew exactly what we needed to do. And the discovery process was short, it was to the point, and the hearing went forward without an event, and fortunately, favorable result. The case is basically dying on the vine. There is no more workers' comp claim for that case.
Okay, okay. And thinking back to our first segment, you were talking about how important in this area it is to be proactive, to be in front of some of these issues, to provide some education and resources. I'm sort of reading between the line, your relationship with this client, you would sort of prime them to, let's get involved early, let's get in front of this, instead of being on the receiving end of some document that says your trial or your hearing starts in 2 weeks.
Absolutely. The problem is that an employer doesn't necessarily know what they can say, what they can't say.
Okay.
And if they don't behave appropriately, say the right things, or if they say the wrong thing, that's the die that's cast when it comes to you in litigation, and then you have to work around that problem. If you've instead strategized in advance and been able to come up with your game plan before anybody else knows what's going on, it's a lot easier for everyone to be relaxed and comfortable with the process as it proceeds.
Yeah. In some former conversations we've had going back over the years, Kevin, I know that certainly the lion's share of workers' compensation claims, processes, and they're legitimate. There's been an unfortunate injury on the job. That's why workers' compensation has been set up and so forth. But the little boy in me gets excited about the fraudulent ones. And I know you've had your fair share of those, and even though they're in the minority, can you think of one or two examples where it was definitely known to be something that was fraudulent at the beginning, and how you were used and your firm was used to maybe to process that to a successful conclusion?
Well, choosing one would be kind of interesting, but there are countless examples of video surveillance where someone is caught working, where we know that they're working, where we know that the injury absolutely positively did not happen the way that they said.
Gotcha.
In fact, recently one of my clients actually had workplace video that shows the individual turning and walking away, a machine falls behind him, and he claims an injury. He goes and files, he retains an attorney after he's terminated.
Right.
And the attorney is shown the video. Case goes away.
Sure.
There is no litigation. There's no settlement.
Sure.
And if they're properly prepared, they can take that, present it to them, and the case goes away.
Okay.
And also, no problem employee anymore.
Okay, very good. And I'm thinking of the infamous jet ski on Lake Lanier. I think you mentioned that to me one time. That case went away also once the plaintiff's attorney saw the video, or?
No, actually, that was sort of an after-the-fact thing. We had already settled the workers' comp claim for this gentleman, and the insurance adjuster had assigned surveillance on it. So my client paid a substantial amount of money on this because the medical in the case required it.
Sure.
But on the very day that he signed the settlement papers, he dated them when he signed them. Right. But on that same date, an investigator caught him on the lake on a jet ski when he shouldn't be doing anything of the sort. Right. Unfortunately, that didn't come to light until afterwards.
Missed by one day.
Yeah, that's right.
Fantastic. Well, we're having a fascinating conversation with Kevin Skedsvold of Skedsvold and White. In our next segment, we're going to talk about a software product and some processes called CompWorks, of which Kevin is involved. And I have seen this product and have observed its benefits and truly think it is the future of processing workers' compensation. So we hope you will join us on segment 3. Until then, this is your host, Bernie Wolford. We will see you next time.